Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
And Tasmanians joined the rest of the country to watch the big game. Whether it was at home or with footy-loving fans at the pub, the atmosphere was electric.
From sausages in the backyard to beers at the pub, Tasmanians marking the grand final in style. Go Cats! Making their predictions early.
Geelong will win the grand final. I hope they don't.
I reckon Hayden McLean will kick 6 and this one's going to get over by about 30 points.
Sydney! Go Sydney!
And yourself?
I think the Cats might just get up.
I think the Cats have been the best team all year, so I think they're going to win.
Cats 100%.
Friendly rivalries on the line.
We're just really happy for each other. One of us is going to be a winner and that's all that matters.
We love it.
Sharing what they love about grand final day.
I'm usually at the pub on grand final day. It's the best day of the year to me.
Just the crowd. When the crowd gets going, it makes everybody else pumped and ready to go.
Well, yeah, even when my team's not in it, it's always an awesome day, and we usually make a big song and dance of it. Yeah.
Others just there for the refreshments.
To be honest, I'm only going to watch the last 2 minutes of it and see who wins at the end. I'm just going to drink for the rest of it.
Pubs across the state today, just like this one, packed out, giving the hospitality industry just the boost it needs.
It's a huge day for us. We've got about 650 people coming.
But there was only one team singing at the end. Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmania News.
Turning to the day's other news now, and the Tasmanian Greens have called on the state government not to renew a Hawthorn sponsorship deal worth millions. Party members gathered in the state's southeast to discuss their most pressing policy motions.
Passionate, devoted and hungry for change, around 50 Greens members from across the island have travelled to Tribunna for the annual state conference.
We are the party, as Cassie said, that is giving people hope for the future.
The grand final sparking heated debate about our own AFL stadium.
I love footy as much as the next person. Obviously there's been some terrible things to come out of these investigations that have happened, but personally we could be spending that money on feeding, clothing and housing the poor.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. We have people sleeping rough, people that can't afford a rental property, like a lot of people around my age.
The party's leader voicing her support for a national league, but says $1 billion arena would be a massive mistake.
There are people sleeping in tents and who can't pay the rent, people who are dying on the elective surgery waiting list. So we'd like to see the Liberals walk away from their stadium proposal.
Now calling on the government to scrap Tasmania's sponsorship deal with Hawthorn.
Tasmanians have a right to ask whether their taxpayer dollars through the sponsorship have funded racism, family breakdown and abortion at the Hawthorn Football Club.
Meanwhile, the Queen's death has reignited the push to become a republic.
Increasingly Australians look to a monarchy which is half a world away and understand that it doesn't relate to them.
But by the end of the day, the Greens were back to their usual agenda: fish farming, transgender rights and forest carbon, just some of the topics returning to the table.
We are coming not only for balance of power in the Senate, but for balance of power in the House of Representatives. That is what...
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Kings Meadows residents were startled last night after hearing gunshots. Police are investigating the alleged discharge, which they say happened on Shifley Street between 2 people known to each other. No one was injured. And police are also investigating a break-in at Hagley Cricket Club yesterday. It's understood a large quantity of alcohol was stolen during the theft. Officials say it robs them of a source of income for the club. Whale carcasses on the west coast will start to be disposed of from tomorrow. Unfortunately, none of the beached whales are alive. A number of refloated whales are swimming close to the shore. However, a small number remain stranded. Natural resource crews are continuing to monitor the whales. Hobart residents will get a chance to outline their priorities to council candidates ahead of the upcoming local government elections. The Salamanca Stallholders Association is behind the forum, designed to help the community cast their vote next month, while also highlighting the important role the market plays in the state.
as many times as you need to.
So we want to have councillors elected that are supportive of the market, that are, have a vision for the market and that want to work with us to make it an even better market.
The free event will kick off at 7 o'clock on Monday night at Hobart's Town Hall. New housing data from PropTrack has shown Devonport as the most desirable suburb for buyers this spring season. 6 of the top 10 Tasmanian suburbs for engaged buyers are in the north and northwest, including Trevellyn, South Launceston and Kings Meadows. In Greater Hobart, Kingston was named as the most in-demand suburb. Tasmanian young guns have taken to the nation's biggest football stage, helping to kick off the AFL Grand Final contest. The state's under-17 Stars gave it their all in front of talent scouts at the MCG.
Testing out the turf on the AFL's biggest day of the season, Tasmanian talent were among the lineup, eager to impress.
He's likely to back himself in from here, Shifter.
And why not a boy from the Tassie Devils that had a fantastic season.
A curtain raiser for the big dance. 4 local stars suited up for the Futures match, with the state producing some of the game's best. Devils product Colby McKercher was keen to prove he could be next.
Tries to chisel the ball and works out beautifully to Colby McKercher.
McKercher ended the day with 21 disposals as fellow Tasmanian Riley Sanders tore up the midfield for Team Murphy.
Tasmanian across at Melbourne Grammar. He's had it 15 times. Cleary, we've mentioned him a number of times. He's also the leading possession winner on the ground.
A late call-up wasn't deterring Jack Callanan, the son of a former football star looking to make his own legacy.
Now on the end of it is Jack Callanan. Going to take a shot at goal about 40 metres out.
His side going on to claim the title for Team Hagley.
A 28-point win to Team Hagley.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
The sounds of an iconic 150-year-old organ will ring out of Hobart's Town Hall tomorrow afternoon for an anniversary concert to celebrate its legacy. Internationally acclaimed organist Thomas Haywood has arrived in the state ahead of the performance, ready to offer a unique experience for audience members.
Every single pipe organ is completely bespoke for the building for which it's made. So there is no other pipe organ in the world exactly like this one. So when it was designed in the late 1860s, it was specially for this town hall.
A sold-out crowd will fill the seats for the free event, with Mr Haywood the only musician in the country capable of playing the instrument. Well, the key to living a long life has been solved. Launceston's Jo Duncan today celebrated turning 100, surrounded by her friends and family. And she's got some cheeky advice to allow the rest of us to also notch up a century.
Celebrating in style.
Happy birthday to me.
Jo Duncan, humble, notching up a century.
Well, it's another day.
A wild 95th birthday, a life highlight.
In true Nana form, the glass wasn't enough for her, so she grabbed the bottle and just started sculling from the bottle. But that's just Nana. You never know what's going to come out from her. She's a bit of a trickster at times.
Leading to a new tradition. Receiving one of the last cards from the Queen, bringing back memories from the war.
But I sat in the Queen Mother's chair car, and she gave me a lift to my RAF station.
The Air Force also introducing her to Kenneth, the man who would become her husband.
So I walked past him, and he didn't look up. So I turned and I walked back again. And he didn't look up. So I turned again. And I walked back again. And he looked up and he said, "Are you going to the dance tonight?" I said, "If you're asking." And that was it.
The secret to living this long?
Well, taking one day at a time, not pushing oneself, just accepting what happens.
Her advice?
Don't expect too much from life. because it's going to knock you down.
A remarkable woman.
Lived through a war, has been bombed, been trapped under a building, and yet she's just so resilient and has taught us so much about how to be the best that you could.
They say she looks better now than in her younger years.
So bright and still full of life.
Happy birthday to you. Hooray!
Talia Jordan, 7 Tasmania News.
Welcome back. It reached 15 degrees at the MCG today with partly cloudy conditions, but closer to home it's been a cold and wet grand final day with some snow about higher peaks and small hail in the south. Hobart reached 11 degrees, Launceston and Burnie 14, Devonport 12. Strahan recorded the state's high today, reaching 15 degrees. King Island, Smithton and Lowhead 14, Flinders Island and Bushy Park 13, St Helens and Maria Island both 12. It reached 11 degrees at Grove and Friendly Beaches with a top of just 3 degrees at Lyowini. Looking to the skies, and cloud covered most of the state today. On the bigger picture, that cloud extends over Victoria and New South Wales with a frontal cloud band over southwest WA. Looking ahead to tomorrow, and the chart shows an area of high pressure over eastern Australia and several troughs affecting central and northern parts of the mainland. On the waters, variable winds tending northwesterly through the day at up to 25 knots in the west, seas at 1 to 2 metres. Hobart, Richmond and Ouse all partly cloudy tomorrow, looking at tops of 17 degrees. Launceston fine and 16. Devonport 14, Deloraine 13 and cloudy. Showers in the northwest, Burnie and Strahan both with tops of 14, Curry mostly sunny and 15 tomorrow. Partly cloudy in the east, St Helens and Swansea both 16, Whitemark 15. Taking a quick look ahead at next week, Monday we'll see showers about the north and west of the state, extending statewide through the afternoon and evening. More showers across the state on Tuesday. And Wednesday, showers about the northeast, extending to most parts through the day. To the mainland tomorrow, a sunny day for Sydney and Brisbane, fine and partly cloudy in Perth, Melbourne and Canberra, with rain and a possible storm for Adelaide. Finally, here's a look at the current conditions. And Lou, that's it for Saturday's weather.
And that's all your news for this Saturday grand final evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. The team and I will be back with you tomorrow. Have a lovely and safe evening. Good night.